Hi guys, and welcome to my tutorial on photos. So this is a software you'll find on your Mac and that replaces iPhoto. I just want to go ahead and show you guys how to start editing some picture and the feature of this software. So maybe that'll be useful if you're totally new to editing pictures, as well as if you just got this update or if you're not too sure how this software works. So I have this photo of a waterfall that I took at Goldstream Provincial Park next to Victoria. I worked on this picture with Lightroom and Photoshop before. I created some tutorials how to shoot this specific picture. If you're interested to take a look, it's on my YouTube channel and on my website. Now, what are we gonna do here is I chose this picture because it's lacking in color and it could be a little brighter. So this will be the ultimate goal on what I want to work on this picture. So let's start. I am gonna go into the right corner here and press edit, and this is the screen that's gonna open. So this is my editing mode. This is where the magic happens. On the right side here in that column, we have all the options that Photos offer. The first one is enhance. So I will press on this. It's an automatic mode. So the first thing that happen is we start to see some color and a little bit more contrast. It's a little brighter. So I'm going to revert to original by pressing this to cancel the changes. And we're going to press on this again so you can see the difference. So it's not a bad thing when you have a picture, you want to do a quick edit, just press enhance and I'll give you a point of reference to start with if you want to. So I'm going to revert to original. The next feature is rotate. Obviously it will rotate your picture. The next one is crop. A quick tip for you guys, cropping will be taking part of your image off. If you take the bottom right, any corner actually, I'm going to start with the bottom right, hold the shift key, and then what you're going to do is left click and drag your arrow back to the middle. Now you'll see there's a certain ratio that doesn't change, so that's your ratio of your picture that won't change. So if I let it go and I press, there we go. So basically this is my crop. It took a wider picture and put it together a little tighter. Now with that little wheel over there, I can change the actual angle of my shot. So it's actually a good thing, right? So now my shot is straight. So I'm happy with this. As you close in, the shot will get maybe a little blurrier, so you gotta be careful when you crop not to go too far in there. If you have the new Canon 5D that came out, there's 50 megapixel, and you can go in there and you can go very deep. But if you have a low megapixel camera, you can't crop too much. So we're gonna revert to original, and then if I take my bottom corner like I showed you, and if I don't hold the shift key, then you can change and take some different ratio if you want. And if I want it long and skinny, and then maybe this is what we'll get. Okay, revert to original. Let's move on to the next feature, filters. Those are presets automatic filter that comes with your software. So if you want to go and do a funky blue or a black and white, it's there for you. It's automatic and it's easy to use. The next feature is adjust. That I will keep to the end. Retouch. Retouch is great if you have like a little black spot, something which is out of order. In this picture, if I zoom in, I have this little speck of water over there. So what that does, you can actually change the size of your brush here if you want to. We'll take the brush more or less the size of the speck. So maybe there. I'm going to come and I will press once on it. So what the software does is it'll go around and choose pixel, which is details in the picture, which is around that spot. So basically by doing that, it look a little messy, may not be the best thing, but it will replace that little droplet with what's around it. Now I'm not too sure I like the job that the software does, so I will revert to original. But this is what you can do, like if there's a black dot in your picture because there's a little bit of dust on your lens or whatever it is, you can use this retouch brush to remove it. extensions. I don't have any extensions with photos, meaning there's other software you can buy. There's third-party software that have plugins. So basically, you're gonna have a software you buy that will, let's say, have different colors, like we did in the filters, different filters. So you buy this for, let's say, X amount of dollars on the internet, and then you put it on your computer. And the plugin, what will happen is it will connect the two software together. So let's say we have the Filter Pro. I don't know if that really exists, but for example, the Filter Pro plugin. So if you go to the extension, if it's connected properly, it should be showing here as the Filter Pro. And then you press on this, and then you will be able to work with it. Now let's go to the Adjust button. And this is where the magic happens. This is where you're gonna find all those things you can work with. I'm shooting with, I'm working with a picture that I shot raw. You can tell on the top here. And what that allow me is have a little bit more feature and things to work with. If you shoot a JPEG and work with a JPEG, you'll sometimes find less options. The first thing I do in the adjustment panel is I go and I'll press the Add button. In there you'll find all your options. I ticked every single one of them and then press Save as Default. So when I reopen my software like Photos, this is what's going to come up right away. Now if you go and take a look around the light adjustment, there's the Auto button. If I press Auto, it will brighten the picture. Now I can reset or remove adjustment. I will remove the adjustment from the panel. So this is not what you want to do. You're going to do Reset instead. And you can slide this over and basically work with that, or what you can do is press that little arrow on the right here and you get all those little detailed things you can work in within the light panel. So I will go ahead and open every single one of them. So this is what I do. I like to keep them open because there's not tons of feature here. It's not overly complicated, and basically by doing that I leave them open all the time. It's way easier to work with. So let's go back and revert to original. What we're trying to do is work on this picture and brighten up and adding some color. So let's start with that. So the exposure, let's bring the exposure up a little bit, brighten the all around of the picture. The highlights, if I move highlights up and down, see my water is affected mainly and the white in the sky. So I don't want to change too much, but I'll bring it up just a touch. Slide the shadows slider back and forth. It affects a little bit the all around of my picture, but I want to brighten up the dark parts. I'll bring it up a bit too. So what I suggest at first is go around, explore, and see what feature does to you. Right? Just bring the slider back and forth and find a happy medium in between. So I want to add some color, some contrast, and the exposure, bring it up. So I'm going to work with my contrast slider here. Bring it up, so you can tell in a dark area it'll make a contrast between the bright and the dark. So right here, the black point, we don't really need to play with it right away. The color, saturation, it will add. Now if I go with saturation, look how the color changes a whole lot. It goes from crazy like green and red to black and white. So basically if you want to go and add a little bit of color to your picture, just crank up the saturation just a notch. If you go too far overboard, it starts to look a little funky here. So just wherever you think it works good. The contrast into your color. So if I look around, doesn't make much of a difference. I'll bring it up just a bit. And your cast is like either a red or blue or somewhere in between. So I'm gonna leave the cast in the middle. Black and white, you don't want your black and white to change. And then you have your sharpen. You don't want to sharpen this image, but if you needed to have the trees a little sharper, whatever it is, you can bring the intensity up, and basically what that will do for you and will increase the detail into your picture. But this is not what I need to work on right now. The definition, if you play with this, it will add some type of a contrast in there, sharpen your image a little bit, which wouldn't be bad to add just a notch here to add a little bit more contrast, a little bit more sharpness. Noise reduction, if you have a very noisy picture you took with a high ISO, or you see like speck of different colors, then you can bring up your noise reduction. Be aware when you play with your noise reduction, it will soften your picture, so your details will be lost a little bit. Your picture will be a little blurrier, so it's something to keep in mind. The vignette is basically like the black round shape, or white if you go the other way around. But I like a vignette. It concentrates the vision, tunnel the vision to the middle, so it'll darken the edge, and then the radius, I'm going to change that to, and then the softness, so it doesn't look like a bad circle around. So I end up with the softness a little bit. Maybe it's too strong. I'll bring it up just to bring it about there. And the white balance. The white balance will change the all-around color of your picture. See the warmth? So there's orange and blue. So if I go all the way up, then you get it all the way orange and all the way blue. So basically what I want to do here is look at the three options. Skin tone, and it doesn't do much on this specific picture, but the temperature. Now we get two different sliders, the tint and the temperature. The tint will be adding some red or adding some green. So in this picture, I want more green into it, so I will try to find a happy medium, which is about here. And the temperature, again, if I go all the way on, all the way up, the temperature is blue and orange, but I will find a happy medium somewhere in between where it should be around here. Now this is what I came up with, and it's pretty much a quick edit, nothing too crazy, but we did add up some colors, a little bit of contrast, and we brought it a little bit more light to this picture. If you think it's too dark again, you can change the all around of your picture, and it'll have a little bit of contrast to it. Here it is. So just bear in mind when you play with this, you can always do the auto, see what the software will do, but you can always change every single category here and change it to your desire and do whatever you want. So let's see the color. I'm not too happy. I will go and press auto. This is what happened to it. It added up some saturation, but I still want a little bit of contrast, so you can change it afterwards. So I will press done, and this will be my picture, final picture into Photos. So hopefully this is a helpful tutorial. I will try to create more Photos tutorial for you guys down the road. If you like it, just make sure to leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.